Play has been part of our learning experience for as long as we've been alive. It's pointless to deny it. As noted by Anna Lacey in Peekaboo, A Window on Baby's Brain, published by BBC News, even the simple game of peekaboo is designed to teach infants object permanence, although they can't really start catching on until about 5 months old. This is a lesson you learn even if you don't remember learning it. It's the knowledge that your car is still right outside your home when you sleep, or that your table at a restaurant is still there even when you leave to use the restroom. So why is it we try to remove play from our learning? Would it not benefit us more to have play in our everyday lives? Dungeons & Dragons can be used in the classroom to teach empathy, listening and reading comprehension, and mathematics with less resistance. Dungeons & Dragons is a fantasy game. One might ask how it can teach empathy, but the answer to this is as simple as how Peekaboo teaches object permanence. It's practice. In Dungeons & Dragons, a player can create a character however they want. There are different races, classes, and backgrounds to choose from. Ethan Gildsdorf explains in his 2016 TED Talk why Dungeons & Dragons is good for you in real life quite well when he said, "You can play someone who's like yourself, or you can play someone who's not like yourself. While wearing the skin of this half-orc, elven, dwarven, or what have you character that's been created, a player can safely experiment with the consequences of social interactions. How does this bartender feel now that his establishment has burned down? How will he feel if I offer a helping hand in retrieving his valuables? How will he feel if I insult him when he's down? How does my cultural attitude affect this interaction?" These kinds of questions are paramount in each interaction the character has, and understanding them helps a player learn how to navigate situations outside of the game. Listening comprehension then also becomes a matter of practice. During each game, a dungeon master is setting the stage for action. This could be as simple as rushing into battle, or as complex as subtly subverting an assassination plot. Players have to take in the information given to them about the plot, any clues, and non-playable characters in the story. If players are not listening and choose to take action regardless, this can have dire consequences for their party. Knowing all of the variables of a situation greatly increases the character's chances for success. Each new adventure is another opportunity for practice, and this practice informs players not just how to listen, but how important listening is to solving problems and working well with others. But in order to inhabit these characters and walk through the Dungeon Master's world in their shoes, the characters first have to be created. This can be done using the Player's Handbook, 5th edition, by Jeremy Crawford, James Wyatt, Robert Schwalb, and Bruce Cordell, published in 2014. Players have to be able to use this book to choose race, class, and background in order to create their characters. While each of these components is important, background creates the most opportunity for variation. This makes it very important to understand how each background might affect your overall character. It's also important to be able to understand the rules for gameplay, as noted in Dungeons & Dragons, and how that can help your child development, by Adam Clark in 2017. Clark additionally points out that players often keep notes or journals about the game, increasing their writing and record-keeping skills. Finally, we come to math. From what you may have seen of the game in shows like Stranger Things and Community, there's clearly an element of dice rolling in this game. For example, rolling a 20-sided die can determine a player's success in attacking a creature. If it's successful, how much damage does it hit for them? The roll of a different die judges this. The number of sides is determined by the weapon of choice. In the Player's Handbook, a longsword would do slashing damage equal to the roll of one 8-sided die. However, if the creature is resistant to slashing damage, the creature would take half of the total damage. Maybe the player is lucky, and the creature is vulnerable to slashing damage. They can then double the damage there. There's even math involved in character creation, a statistic that would have to be determined before the play can start. So why do we try to remove play from our learning? Even in a game so rich for imagination as Dungeons & Dragons can benefit us throughout our lives. Empathy is learned through exploring realms as someone new and adventuring with party members of different races and creeds. Players learn to listen so they may get all of the clues and plot details necessary to move the story forward. They read different rule books to understand how to play their characters and how those characters might interact with the world around them. Finally, they use math to create their characters and judge their successes and failures as they struggle together against each foe or challenge. Empathy, listening and reading comprehension, and math can all be taught in the classroom using the daring and beautiful world of Dungeons and Dragons.